Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Dr. Glenn Vo, and I am super excited to have. Not only is he a Nifty member, not only is he the founder of MVP Mailhouse, he's also our hookup when it comes to anything professional football, right? So we'll get into that a little bit later. But Aaron, what's up, man? Welcome,
Hey,
welcome back to the Nifty group,
thank you so much. Good to see you, Dr. Vogt.
man. So, big reason. Look, the big reason why I wanted to bring you on is because we just started a mailer campaign. So, just full transparency, guys. I've been working with Aaron for years. I actually been working with this guy before he even had MVP Mailhouse. Okay, he was with another company. I worked with him, and then once he opened up his own shop, I love working with them. Jumped over here, started working it, and it's the rest is history, right? So, his big thing is, look, Glenn. He was like, Glenn, all these there's certain times of the year that is crucial for mailing things out. And look, I'm not look, I know a little bit. I dabbled, right? I did my own postcards and I did all that stuff. And I just found that it's just so much easier to just have the experts do it because I was busy working on patients. Okay. So with that being said, Aaron, you gotta let everyone know. Is it too late for them to do some mailers? Because again, like I look, I did it. I follow your
Yep.
to a T. I'm always getting some great leads because we're doing it at certain times. But you were like, you reached out to me. He's like, I need to get on a Facebook Live. And I'm assuming because one of those times that we should mail out is coming up pretty soon. Is that correct?
Yeah, you're right now. It's peak season. That there's some interesting things happening right now in the world, and obviously, here in our country that has affected. And I like having a bigger picture of things, of why. Right? Like, so my background in football analytics, right? I want to play to my strengths. I want to, try to avoid weaknesses and really play the numbers. So when you get into marketing, direct mail specifically, so MVP Mailhouse stands for most valuable practice. If you haven't heard of us, all we work with is dentists, and
Yeah.
all we do is direct mail. Okay, so we're super streamlined in what we do and how we mail it. Over the years, mailed literally millions and millions of cards, and we track them. I want to know how many calls they get. I want to know how many appointments get. I want to know how many dollars come to your practice from them. So when I look at optimal times to mail, the reason why right now is really hot, there's a couple things that jump into that reasoning. Number one is we're still at the beginning of the year. People have renewed benefits. If your practice files, now you get in this debate, hey, well, no, I'm only a fee for service. And then I ask, okay, well, what percentage do you file on? Oh, 80%, 90%. So understand, what does your current patient base look like? And if you have a high percentage of insurance, first of the year is great because you have so many people with renewed benefits, okay? And maybe they're new to the area. Maybe they don't like their existing dentist from last year. Maybe they just got benefits, et cetera, and they're looking. But the reason why right now is peak is because it's always also a great time for cash patients. Why? Well, if you go back to January, people just spend a lot of money on Christmas, right? And the holidays. They're coming out
Hey,
of.
I was one of those people.
Yeah, right. And I got 4 little kids. And yeah, man, it gobbled up some money this year. When I was a kid, I just got some work gloves, and that was it. But that doesn't fly nowadays. So, but people have recovered now. On top of that, you have tax returns because people have filed online now. They don't have to wait for a certain date. Like, you have more dollars coming in. So the reason why these next couple months are really peak is you still have a big percentage of people that have available benefits that have not established care with an office. And 2, you also have the cash people out there that are ready to move because their pockets are getting a little more full right now.
Yeah. And Aaron, you know what? You actually had mentioned this the other day because we laid out like the strategy, and you're like, okay, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. But you brought up one thing that you forgot to mention is our favorite guy. Actually, they're not. He's a guy that we always try to avoid, the tax guy, right? So again, when people deal with a tax guy, so again, when we think about it, people are always thinking like, okay, you know what? I'm going to hit up those people who get their tax returns. I'm just going to hit them up like right at that month. But here's the thing, and something that Aaron has showed me is that you actually have to get like I don't know. Aaron likes to use this thing like Inception. If you guys ever watched that movie Inception, like Leonardo DiCaprio gets like they get in your brain, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, now you think about it. Before something happens, you got to get into their head, your clients and your potential patients' heads with Inception. So again, that's why, I mean, again, Aaron, that's why we have, because like whenever you send mailers, you always come back to me, you say, hey, Dr. Bo, guess what? This guy came back and this is a mailer you did like 3 months ago or 4 months ago. I'm like, dude, what? And
Yep.
again, it's because of that concept. So if someone is waiting for, okay, I want to take advantage of all the people getting their tax returns, they got to start mailing now, right?
Yeah. Well, it's so what that inception in marketing is your reticular activator. When something is on your mind, you start to see it everywhere and these ads jump out to you, but maybe you're not feeling like you're in position yet to make that big jump. I also see bigger cases, right? And that's the other thing, is we're not just talking about regular people. We're talking about maybe a life-changing event because, I don't know, for lack of better words, you're kind of higher on the hog when you have some more money in your account from a lot of these things. Now, realize most Americans don't have years worth of savings, right? Most Americans, as they get, these things are big deals as you get tax returns, as you have other income coming in. And these are like peak times. And there's actually, I've just read an article this week where they've pinpointed 8 specific dates where 60 million Americans have the most money in their bank account.
Wow.
And it's kind of interesting to know when those dates are, right? So as we're coming up, April 1st is one of them. And it's typically towards the first of the month. So I like having mailing, plant those seeds so that as they respond. But yeah, it's on their mind and now they're going to act. But if you're waiting too late, you might have missed that boat when you're not planting those seeds in front of them, especially as you get into orthodontic care, you get into, Invisalign cases, things like that too. These bigger cases, you got to plant the seeds.
And again, going back to what Aaron is really big about, and that's the thing. I mean, could you do this stuff yourself? Yes, I actually made a Facebook post. If you do a search, you'll see it. I actually posted about how you can send your own mailers. But this is coming from a guy who used to do it himself to now working with MVP, because again, it's like they have all these analytics, they have all these tools, because if you're just mailing and you're not keeping track of stuff, you're literally just wasting paper. You literally are wasting paper. Not only the postcards you're sending, but the paper that's in your wallet, you're wasting that as well. And so again, talk about let's hit on those analytics again, because people will say, well, you know what? I'm already doing, I'm doing a lot of marketing. I'm doing digital ads, or I'm doing ground marketing. I'm knocking on people's doors, all that stuff. Well, here's the thing, guys, when it comes to marketing, it's all about being top of mind, right? Maybe you are doing ads, okay? But is the ads really going to push them? Maybe it's actually the mailer. Is the mailer going to be the one to push them, or you send the mailer out and it's something else there? But again, Aaron, talk about the analytics, talk about what you actually track. Like, it's not just a spreadsheet, like, okay, someone made this. No, you go real deep on that. So talk about that.
So I want to address 2 things. So one, do-it-yourselfers. Hey, I do a lot of myself on stuff on myself. There's some things I don't do. I don't want to change my oil. It's a messy mess and I'm going to save a couple bucks, right? It's just not worth it. Do I know how? Absolutely. But there, just so the industry, those that are doing direct mail out there are some serious paper shortages. I know it sounds really weird right now. You remember when lumber went crazy and you remember when all these things went crazy? Well, that's happening to paper right now. And I promise you're going to see a lot of small shops go out of business. Literally, I'm talking like 30-40% increase in paper. Wow. Luckily, I have larger purchasing power because I do direct mail and all across the country. So back in November, I had a pre-order paper for now. So I know when you start getting deep in these trenches, like do-it-yourselfers, there's some things that are going to happen. So I just want you to understand some things that are happening in the industry right now. It's getting crazy. It really is. It's like mission critical. So when you get to the analytical side of things, you see my background. Obviously, I love sports. I played pro football for 9 years. My favorite joke, I never got rich and famous, so I decided to work with Dennis every day. And I had to get a real job. So I got a real job, 12 years ago or so when I retired, and that's this. And as I've marketed over the years, there's some things that really jump out to me. And where I've seen offices all across the country, every state, from Hawaii to Alabama to Florida, California, you name it, inner city, rural, there's different approaches that work for different practices in different areas. And I think one mistake a lot of people make is it's one size fits all. And that's what happens. And it's a cookie cutter type thing. But what works for this practice where they're talking about invest in your smile and they're trying to drive some bigger cases versus maybe another office that has more of a gimmicky model where they're going really after seniors and implants and things like that. Every office is different, right? So some real basics from the analytical side is, number one, you got to target the best homes. And I'd like to show a few things about that, of how to target your best neighborhoods. Number two, play to your strengths in this design. What is your strengths, right? Is it a pretty office? Is it a great team? Is it amazing reviews? Whatever that is what should be on that design. And you actually touched on that years ago when you wrote that Facebook post that you talked about. You kind of talked about what needs to be on that design. Play to your strengths. Okay, that's what the world needs to know. More people need to know about your office. The beauty of direct mail, as opposed to other marketing, is you're proactively putting this in 5,000 people's hands, 10,000 people's hands, however many you're mailing, as opposed to waiting for someone to find you. You're finding them. Now, where do you find them? And I don't know if we're even able to share screen, but maybe I could show what our heat map technology
let's do
is.
that. Let me, I'm going to give you, I am going to give you the option to do that. Okay. You should be all set. Yeah. So yeah, share your screen, Aaron, and show the folks in Nifty. And again, for those who are learning this right now, or seeing this for the first time, meeting Aaron for the first time, he's been in this group for a long time. He's helped so many members. But the great thing is that, like, he knows his stuff, man. You can always reach out. You can always talk. He's not going to charge you anything to talk to him, but let the man show you. So again, Aaron, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let you show us what's going on here.
Can you see the screen? Is it showing?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm passionate about this. I really love it. And I love answering questions, whether an office has never done this. If they've been doing direct mail for 5 years, let me give you a second opinion. Let me look at what you're doing and critique it. Even if you stay with what you're doing, you have it dialed in, your brother-in-law does it, great. I just want to share. I'm not a cup half, happiness. There's only so much limited success. I believe that it's unlimited, right? So, all right, let me show you this, because I think this is one of the coolest things. And over the years that we've built, this is called our Map IQ, where I come into a location. Okay, general rule of thumb, and you've probably heard it in 100 places, is a radius around your office, right? Well, you got to mark it to 2 miles or 4 miles or 5 miles. Okay, here's the deal. Number one, people do not come to your practice in a perfect circle. So you need to identify where they're coming from. Because if you're just drawing a big circle around your office and you're doing digital ads or direct mail or whatever in a perfect circle, you are wasting money somewhere. There are going to be areas that don't respond. So understand your strengths. If your existing office, guess where the secret is? It's in your existing patients. Where do they live? If you knew where your existing patients live, you're going to be able to find their neighbors, the similar demographics, similar income, similar geographical barriers of entry. Let me show you this example, if you can see here on the screen. All right, so when I come into practice, instead of marrying this big area, I have an office run a quick new patient report. I like to look at the last few years. I don't want to go back 10 years and 20 years, neighborhoods change, but I run a quick little new patient report and I pin drop them out. Notice this office, where patients are coming from, yet they've been spending thousands of dollars in digital and direct mail out into these areas where they're getting very little success. So does that make sense? Why would you do it? And here's why. If you notice a major interstate. Interstates are big barriers of entry, rivers, lakes. You need to identify what those are. You've heard the old saying, oh, they live on the other side of the tracks, right? It's a real thing. People flow. Now, if you're a specialist or doing specialty stuff and you're getting referrals, yeah, people will travel further. Too many dentists get caught up in, well, I have the Larson family that comes 20 miles from here. That's an anomaly, okay? Yeah. You got to play to the numbers. So when I come into a practice, instead of this area as their market area, I really hone it in to an area more like this, where it's these hottest neighborhoods, as you can see. And when I do my mailings, let's say mailing 1 goes to these green homes, I can actually take out your existing patients. So they don't get it, but all their neighbors do in these hottest areas. You following me? So as you go, there's a lot of things to know about sequencing, how often you can hit a home without annoying them or getting oversaturation or diminishing returns. But typically we'll build zones like this for practice, and then we track it all to see how many calls come. We literally listen to every recording that comes to your office. So, you know, literally listening to your calls this week.
Yeah. Hey, you know, just to let you guys know, I mean, Aaron even brought out a couple of things. He was like, hey, you know, we noticed this call here and, you know, you might want to look into this. And so again, what's so cool, it's, you know, people look at, you know, mailing companies and even MVP Mailhouse, right? You're thinking, okay, they just do mailers, man. They do so much more, man. Aaron literally has my back. He has my back. He's like, hey, you know, I just want you to point this out. But there's one thing that I want to bring up, and I cannot stress it enough. Guys, just look earlier. He was like, we don't send mailers to your own patients. Why the heck would you send a mailer to your own patient? They like you. They're already going there. It's like a waste of money.
Especially if you're running an offer, right? Especially if you're running an offer.
Oh, they're going to see it. They're going to say, what's up with it? Yeah, they're going to say, what's up with that? And again, guys, if you do it yourself, you don't have the capability of mailing, especially if you do the EDDM, right? They give you a list, you mail it off to them, everybody gets it. It's like a blanket mailer, okay? But Aaron, he can cut out all your patients so that you only target their neighbors. And that is like, again, there's so many things they do. That right there makes it worth it. That right there makes it worth it.
Savings alone from that, right? Let's say you have, in this case, there's 1,500 patients. Well, you just saved 1,500 stamps that were going to existing patients. So there alone, you've already spent more doing EDDM in the postage savings you get. And then on the back end, like just real quick, you can kind of see, we track every call. We listen to every recording within hours. It's not that fun to listen to calls, but I want you to know who schedules. And at the end, I'm able to sync everything up for you. So you know exactly what happened on your January mailing, on your February mailing, March, when you go to different homes, when you do different designs. And this is my favorite thing, and I can stop sharing after this, but after every quarter, once you mail to these areas, I do what I call a match back audit, and I sync up all your results. You literally can come in here and click on any one of these and see the patient's name, how much money they spent, and listen to the recording. If you don't believe me, they're from the postcard, listen to the recording when they called in and scheduled, because we recorded all the calls. So this is pretty cool stuff. I've never really showed it live like this. It's typically more on a demo, but you know, I'm at the point, I want people to know that there are ability to track direct mail. That's one of the complaints is direct mail, you're just throwing it out there and you have no idea. Dude, you'll know with me. I promise, for good or bad, you'll know exactly what happened on your mailings. And that's what I can promise you.
I love that. Okay, yeah, so you can stop the share here so we can talk a little bit more here. So guys, I mean, look, here's the thing. If you are not sure about direct mail, maybe you think it doesn't work for you, maybe you're not even sure about MVP Mailhouse, look, just reach out and talk to them. I mean, it doesn't cost to talk. And as you can see there, unless you have these capabilities, then you're wasting money on your mailers. Look, I thought I was saving money by doing it myself, but really think about it. I actually had to design it. Yeah, I didn't do the graphic design. I hired someone, but I actually had to look at it, right? I still had to make the changes. Then I had to go onto the site and, you know, order all the mailing lists from the post office and whatnot. Okay, I delegated for my team. Okay, that's fine. But I still had to start the legwork. Then I actually had to bring the postcards to the post office. That is probably the biggest pain in the butt. Now,
Loading your trunk up.
Yeah, you're probably thinking, you know what? I could get my team member to do it. Sure, you can have them. But that means are they doing it for free? Last I checked, people didn't work for free. So then you're paying them to go do it. And then you're sending all the mailers out. And then some of my existing patients came in, hey, Dr. Vo, can I get this special? It's like, crap, man, you weren't supposed to get that. Oh, I can't control that. So I listed 3 or 4 things there. And also here's another thing too. Yeah, you know, we put a phone number there. Could you get your own phone number and track the calls? Most of us use Mango Voice. So yeah, you can record the calls. Okay, but let's get real here. How often do you actually listen to it? Yep. I promise you don't listen to it. Okay, so here's the thing. All those things I just listed, MVP Mailhouse does it. And on top of that, Aaron will make sure you know, like, hey, we sent some mailers out. Hey, look, we got this call from a mailer we did 3 months ago. Hey, I noticed on this call that your team member said something. You might want to do some training there.
Again, you personally literally had a voicemail last night. For 2 appointments that want to schedule. They called after hours and they left their name. I know that you need to call them back and schedule those 2 appointments today.
Yeah.
Like,
and so again,
how many marketing companies know that?
Yeah. And again, I tell you guys all this because Aaron literally has your back. He has my back. So again, literally, he will tell me these things. And I'm like, oh, thanks, man. Oh, man, this is just like, it's unexpected, but it's so valuable. So with that being said, Aaron, can you just really quickly just hold up some mailers and just show people like the examples? You're probably thinking, oh, well, you know what? I don't want a mailer like the one that you have. Well, I don't want this. Well, he does mailers, all shapes and sizes, all designs. And at the end of the day, whatever offers you want to put out there, he's going to be game. But one thing I want you to keep in mind, he's going to give you the best offers at work. Okay. Like he'll roll with whatever you say, but he's been doing this for years. He knows what works, knows what doesn't.
So yeah, to speak to that, on the back end, we actually built something pretty cool. So as we track these mailers all across the country, okay, 47 states, as we track these on the back end, we actually see the top performing designs. What's the number one requested offer? And you could break it down by region, you could break it down by state. Like it's back to the analytics. I promise, when I was playing pro football, it matters. You're not going to keep throwing touchdowns to me in the back of the end zone and I'm going to drop them and I'm going to have a job, right? Like I want offices to know for good or bad what happens in this whole, how well that neighborhood responds, how well their front desk responds, how well the offers from the card, what's working, what's not, and then eventually even production. So to what you said, yeah, sure, you could put a tracking number on. Sure, you can ask every patient, how'd you hear about us? You want to hear a crazy stat? When I do these audits, I take your data and compare it to my data. I typically find anywhere from 30 to 50% of your referral source that your staff literally put in whatever, open dental, whatever you're using, 30 to 50% of the time it's wrong or not even put in there. So how can you, as a dentist, make informed decisions with bad data? That's the most scary. It's easier to make good decisions if you're looking and you can literally see me dropping the ball in the end zone. Okay, we got to cut him. He's not good. But when you're making decisions on, I think he drops it a lot. Maybe we should cut him, right? So when you say, I think my marketing is working or I think it's not working, that puts you in a dangerous position because you're playing with your real money, with your real savings. And if you could be empowered to make decisions based on real numbers, it empowers you to make better decisions.
I love it. I love it. Totally agree with that. And, this is a question I ask you all the time. And we're just going to do it for the sake of people who have never heard of your company and they're hearing this for the first time. So this is for you guys. For those who know about MVP, who's been using Nifty members or using MVP, hey, you guys know he's already over delivered. That's why you're still a customer just like me, right? But these are for the people who are, watching this for the first time. And this question, I'm sure you hear it all the time. I'm going to ask you right now. But you know what? Mailers don't work anymore. What do you say to that, Aaron? Because I'm sure you hear it all the time. And I'm sure people who are watching this for the first time are thinking, who the heck does mailers anymore? Aaron, what do you say to them?
Well, first, I would say I have a handful of mailers right here from some pretty big companies. Amazon is doing mailers. Why do they do mailers? Yeah. People with billions of dollars beyond our understanding, they're doing direct mail because they're getting results from it. But when I get back to the dental space specifically, this is what I eat, sleep, and drink, is the reason why you're getting dental postcards or mailers in your mailbox. Because I've done it. Say, I get 3 of these a month. Well, do you think people are doing them because they're not working? That they just like wasting money, right? They are getting value in it in one way or another. Now, they may not even know what that value is. And that's where I think we bring some really unique benefits to you. But when an office comes to me that's done direct mail and say, hey, it didn't work, my first question is, well, let's talk about it. What didn't work? That's a really vague thing to say it didn't work. So I want to get to the details. Did you target the right homes? Because nothing will work if I'm targeting an area that won't jump over that interstate, right? Nothing. You're going to lose so much money trying to get change a geographical barrier or a mental barrier. Okay. So where did you target? What did you send them? There's a big difference between a professional design and your brother-in-law that slapped something together for you. I mean, no offense. I mean, I got a good brother-in-law, but I'm just saying, you see the difference of understanding what works. So, that's like saying, hey, if you just say, oh, the pie wasn't good. Well, what'd you put in it? right? How long did you cook it? So there's a lot of variables. And honestly, I love to find out. Okay, let's talk about it. Where did you mail? And I'll actually put, so in my free second opinion, I'll show you where you mailed versus where your patients are. And it's pretty crazy. Just like that example I showed, most of the time you're going to see 20 to 50% of the homes you shouldn't have mailed to in the first place because it's fighting geographical barriers of entry. So I love that and I welcome that. And there, in defense of that, there literally are some areas that I have low degree of confidence in.
Yeah.
Okay. If I get in really inner city areas, high-rise apartment complexes, I've had a very hard time being successful consistently in those areas. Have I had success? Sure. Have I had a lot of failure in those areas? Yes. But when and that's why this is my approach. It's pretty simple. You mentioned, hey, reach out to me and ask questions. This is what I love doing, right? This is, I'm an expert at direct mail for dentists, and so is my team. We've mailed millions of cards. I offer a free exam and x-ray. Okay, that's literally what I do. I'm speaking your language. The x-ray is, let me show you where your patients are coming from.
Yeah.
Free, no commitment. Let me do a heat map for you. I'll show you where your patients are coming from. I don't care if your only marketing is talking to schools, you're going to know which schools to talk to. I don't care if your only marketing is a park bench, you're going to know what park bench you should get. Okay, so that's where I'm at. So let me do an x-ray. And then my exam is, I'm going to diagnose it. And if you ever are to do direct mail, whether it's now or 5 years from now, this is what I would recommend to be most successful. And I've always done this for Nifty members. Nifty has been a big part of our business for years since we've been working together. I really appreciate the so many of them out there that have reached out to us and that we've been able to grow our businesses together. But I'm always willing to do a free exam and x-ray for anyone out there in the Nifty world. Okay. And I'll even take it one step further. I think one thing that's really interesting is I'd be willing to do even a free design concept for you. Let me dive in. Let me look at your website. Let me look at your brand that I see, and I'll show you what I believe your strengths are that your community needs to know about. And I'm happy to do a free design for you as well. And that would, I don't offer that, but I just feel compelled in this moment. Maybe you got me all like hyped up, but let me do an exam and x-ray, and even more so, I'll even do a free design so you can see what your face, what your brand, what your office would look like on a tangible mailed postcard going out to your area.
Well, I love that. I mean, there's nothing else I could say to top that, guys, but I'm going to reiterate what he just said there. So first of all, free second opinion, like let Aaron and his team examine x-ray, right? Something that we understand, see what's going on there. He'll bring up the heat map too. And then this is a bonus. And literally, I've never heard the man. In all the years I've worked with them, I've never heard the man offer this. So you want to take this again, just doing that. Again, branding concept, right? The postcard concept or whatever, that free postcard.
It's literally
concept.
100. I mean, you call most any edit, it's $500, $1,000. Let me design your postcard.
Yeah.
I'm willing to do it for free. Let me put together and I'll show you what your strengths are. I have all of my designers are full-time in-house. This is what we love to do. And I honestly feel that most dentists, more people just need to know about them.
Yeah.
Literally more people just need to know about them. And I do marketing for a living. But I still will tell you, your number one source for patients should be referrals. It means you're taking care of people, right? Yeah. And they're sending you referrals of friends and family. Here's the deal though. What about the hundreds, thousands of people who don't know your patients? Guess what? Your patient's not going to refer someone they don't know. So that's the beauty of direct mail is we can introduce you to new networks. And when they come in, you're going to wow them. And guess what? Now they're going to refer their friends and family. So it's getting in more networks. And that's where you really start to snowball as a practice.
I love it. I love it. Aaron, thank you so much for jumping on. Guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to put in the comment section his contact info. And again, take advantage of these free offers. If you think that direct mail doesn't work for you, or maybe you had a bad experience before, talk to Aaron. Chances are you probably did something wrong. Chances are whoever you work with probably did something wrong. And again, Nifty members have been getting hooked up by Aaron for years now. So Aaron, thank you so much for jumping on. Guys, thanks for tuning in.
Hey, add that landing page too to sweeten the deal. I'll even add some money off your first mailing. So we have a dedicated landing page where that free design is not on there, trust me. But there is an extra little Dr. Bose went to bat for all you guys out there, and he's even got an extra special deal.
Man, maybe I should keep this guy on a little bit longer. Since each time I keep him on, he's offering more and more stuff. But I'll take care of you. We'll just stop this now. So Aaron, thank you so much, guys.
Awesome.
Thanks for tuning in.